Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, I have to tell you, this offseason has been anything but boring for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen some interesting moves, some bold decisions, and a lot of speculation about what's coming next. But one of the most talked about rumors lately involves the Steelers potentially making a major move to bolster their wide receiver core with a player who's got a lot of history with one of our key figures, Aaron Rodgers. Yes, we're talking about Christian Watson, the young and talented receiver from the Green Bay Packers. And get this, there's serious talk that Pittsburgh might be looking to trade for him, and if that happens, it could be a game changer for the team this season. But let's back up a little and set the stage for those who might not be fully aware of what's been happening in the NFL landscape. The Green Bay Packers, always known for making bold moves, made headlines just before the start of the 2025 NFL season. They traded away some significant assets, including 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, to acquire Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. Now Parsons is a game-changing linebacker, one of the best in the league, and his addition signals that Green Bay is all in for this season. They're trying to maximize their Super Bowl window, no doubt about it. But as with any big move in the NFL, there are consequences. The Packers, in extending Parsons to a 4-year, $188 million deal, have certainly shown they're committed to him as a cornerstone. But this deal also complicates things financially for Green Bay. When you drop over $180 million on one player, especially a linebacker like Parsons, the rest of your roster starts to feel the squeeze. And that's where the drama begins to unfold for other players, specifically Christian Watson. Now, Watson is a talented receiver, no doubt, but with the extension of Parsons, the Packers are in a tricky position. They have to decide whether they can afford to keep Watson around on a new contract, or if they'll have to consider trading him before his current deal expires. Here's where it gets really interesting for us Steelers fans. If the Packers do decide that they can't extend Watson, they might open the door for a trade. And folks, I've been watching the NFL rumors closely, and it's clear that Pittsburgh is one of the teams that could make a lot of sense as a potential landing spot for Watson. Why? Well, for starters, the Steelers are in a bit of a bind at wide receiver. After trading for DK Metcalf, many fans thought that the team would have a solid core of receivers to go along with Kenny Pickett. But then, things took a turn. The Steelers traded away George Pickens, one of their promising young talents, and just recently they also released Robert Woods. That leaves the room pretty thin when it comes to experienced targets for Pickett, and more importantly, for the veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who's now leading the team. Right now, the Steelers' wide receiver depth chart looks a little shaky. You've got Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin, and Ben Skowronek. Not exactly the most seasoned or proven group, especially when competing in the high-stakes environment of the NFL. And let's be honest, if the Steelers want to maximize this season and give Rodgers the best chance to succeed, they need more reliable, experienced weapons. That's where Christian Watson could come in. He's only 26 years old but has already shown flashes of brilliance, especially when playing with Rodgers during their time together in Green Bay. You see, Watson was a guy who made a real impact during his first seasons. In 2022, he finished with 611 yards and 7 touchdowns on just 41 receptions. That's a pretty solid line for a young receiver still developing. What's more, Watson has a chemistry with Rodgers that's hard to replicate. Even though they weren't teammates for many seasons, during their time together, Watson showed that he could be a reliable target, someone who understands Rodgers' throwing style and can get open when it matters most. That kind of familiarity is gold in the NFL, especially when integrating a new receiver into an offense that's trying to hit the ground running. Now, from what I've observed during training camp, Watson has been very involved, even if he's not fully practicing yet. He's been staying close to the wide receiver group, showing a clear commitment to his recovery and to this new team. And that's a promising sign for Steelers fans. It suggests that if the trade goes through, Watson could be ready to contribute sooner rather than later, bringing youth, talent, and experience to a wide receiver room that desperately needs some injection of skill and reliability. Let's talk a little more about the importance of this potential move. The Steelers, under the leadership of Mike Tomlin, have built a reputation for being a tough, resilient team, but they've often struggled to find consistent offensive weapons outside of their running game and tight ends. With Kenny Pickett developing and the team looking to make a leap this season, adding a receiver like Watson could be exactly what they need to elevate their passing attack. Not only does Watson bring talent, but he also knows the system, knows Rodgers, and can fit into the Steelers' offensive scheme with relative ease. That kind of seamless transition is what every team hopes for when making a trade for a player in the middle of their career. And let's not forget the broader context here. The AFC North is a fiercely competitive division, with teams like the Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals always in the mix. The Steelers need to find ways to keep pace, and adding a weapon like Christian Watson could be the difference maker in tight games, especially late in the season when playoffs are on the line. It's also worth noting that Pittsburgh has historically been very strategic when it comes to trades. They don't make moves just for the sake of it. They look for players who can fit into their culture, who bring a winning mentality, and who have the potential to develop further under the guidance of their coaching staff. The Steelers' front office and coaching staff are known for their meticulous approach, and if they see an opportunity to acquire Watson at the right price, they'll definitely explore it. It's all about value, fit, and future potential. And with Watson's youth and experience playing with Rodgers, he ticks all those boxes. Moreover, the Steelers have a history of developing young talent and turning promising players into stars. That's part of the reason why so many fans are excited about the possibility of Watson donning the black and gold jersey this season. It's not just about adding a receiver, it's about enhancing the entire offensive dynamic, giving Kenny Pickett more options, and setting the stage for a potentially explosive offense. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the risks involved. Trading for a player mid-season always comes with uncertainties. Does he adapt quickly? Will he stay healthy? But if we look at Watson's track record, he's shown that he can produce when healthy and given the opportunity. And with Rodgers throwing him the ball, the sky's the limit. Plus, the Steelers have a strong culture of resilience. They're known for overcoming adversity and making key moves that pay off in the long run. So, to sum it all up, this potential trade for Christian Watson could be one of the most impactful moves for the Steelers this offseason. It ticks all the boxes: youth, experience, chemistry with Rodgers, and a need at wide receiver. If it happens, it could help Pittsburgh not only compete in the AFC North, but also position themselves as serious contenders for another Super Bowl run. This is the kind of move that could define the season, and I, for one, am really excited to see how it unfolds. The Steelers are always about strategic, smart decisions, and this could be one of those moves that fans will look back on as a turning point. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think trading for Christian Watson makes sense? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him catch passes from Rodgers in a Steelers uniform? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers' future. Remember, this is a community. Your insights, your predictions, your enthusiasm help shape the conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see what this season has in store for us. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, go Steelers.